Super Bowl party. I think I was invited to one though. Well, I don't know exactly. I think I was. So if I just show up, is that?
Oh no, when in doubt, don't.
When in doubt, just don't. Thinking about like going to the Super Bowl party, but like dressed up for Halloween and be like, hey, what are we doing?
Oh, that's that commercial.
Yeah.
On Nice Stuff.
Or when in doubt, dress like Captain Morgan, right?
Oh, that always plays.
Then it don't matter. Hey, welcome to the Closing Beat, everybody. Happy Monday. How you doing out there? You ready, Louie? Louie's ready. My man. Hey, by the way, I have to show you a picture of the office. I sort of put together what I think I'm going to take over as the office. And it's a Louis-inspired office there. That's pretty good, must say. I got a lot of sleep over the weekend, so I'm just ready to roll. Welcome. We call this the Closing Beat, talk about the stock markets and everything else like that. You know where else we talk about the stock market is in our research site. If you're interested, you can join that there. What happens if I hit this button? Oh, that's what it looks like. We are doing a new segment in there called Office Trades, and we started that today. We were a little rushed for time, but I wanted to at least get one out there to test it. And it's $13 a month if you're not a member or not a client. If you are a client, it's included for free. One thing we did is we turned off the notifications when we're going to go live, because if that's going to be like every day for the most part, that would get a little bit annoying. So we turned that off. You should have the ability to turn them back on if you'd like, or just know every day starting now. About 12 o'clock, we'll be live in the dojo there, and we're showing the trades, what we're doing, exactly why. Like I said, today was a little rushed, but if you want to see down to every last little thing, nothing held back with real money and hopefully real wins and real losses and all that, come join us there. Also, All That Jazz is up and running. That is our service that is included with working with Jazz Wealth here, where we'll manage every single one of your accounts as a part of our original agreement. That means 401ks, TSPs, 529s, HSAs, you name it. We'll put it in the mix as well. So we started that. If you're interested, of course, let us know. But no catch there, by the way. Just, hey, got a 401k, somebody's charging you to manage that thing. We'll just do it for you as part of our deal here. So no games being played there. All right, let's take a look, because here you have the stock market here. It's kind of like indecision time. I mentioned this before going into last week. We have this indecision period, right? We had a big drop in January, horrible drop. Everybody's excited. We get a rally that makes it up about halfway, and all of a sudden the glass is either half full or half empty. That's the exact way to look at it. And so for the past couple of days, it's been, what are we doing? We going higher or lower? Friday, we had 467,000 jobs adjusted down for, or the 150,000 was the adjusted number, I believe, adjusted for Omicron. And what happened? There was no blast off. Usually that's exciting. You go, oh man, tons more jobs added than we thought. That's good news, right? Well, not now, because it actually means that the Fed gets more of the green light to raise rates. And so it means that those 5 Fed hikes are actually positioned at the moment. The effective funds rate's at 1.4%, or the implied Fed funds rate's at 1.4%, which implies that we'll get up there, which means a quarter point gets us up to 1.5% there. And so because you have that jobs beat, it goes, oh man, the Fed can now say that the stock market or the economy is doing really well, and therefore they can go ahead and raise rates. And that's why you see on the news of that jobs report, the market fell, like right when it was released. It wasn't, we were actually up overnight, but that's why we fell, because now it's, Fed rates hikes are coming in there. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in the future, because I saw some things that weren't quite accurate from people on the old YouTube there that were financial advisors. So I'll give you the actual answers and show you here in just a second. Nonetheless, if we look at the S&P, we've got 75 names due to report earnings this week. So don't forget, it's earnings season. There is a lot going on out there. So we don't want to lose sight of that. Just one more thing to keep track of. You know what I mean? Anyways, indecision zone. If you're looking around, you're going to see a few things stick out today. Anything, Tyson's earnings, we'll cover that. But anything travel related, it did well today. Got a lot of things moving around there. I'm looking at Royal Caribbean here. Let me just go like this so you can see it a little bit better, right? Royal Caribbean up 8%, still inside of a big choppy range. Not too much to gather from it other than it had a good day. Norwegian Cruise and Carnival Cruise also had great days as well. American Airlines up 5% on the day. And United's in there somewhere, 3% as well. Alaska Airlines, 3.5%. You get it, travel stuff going on there. And a lot of that is due to, you have Las Vegas Sands and Wynn as well. All that looking good. You got mergers going on we'll talk about as well. Where's Southwest? They got a little bit of action today too, 2%. So if you own airlines, casinos, travel companies, we have Booking Holdings actually coming up with their earnings. Booking Holdings actually due to report soon as well. And anything like that. Just had a good day today as far as the S&P is concerned. Looking to the downside there, you got Facebook making new lows, right? It's one of the positions I have actually in the office trades that you got to see this morning or this afternoon. And PayPal as well. I want to say that made new lows also. Very extended, very sold off here. I believe a handful of people spoke up today and said that they put some positions on the people on TV and all that stuff. Other than that, it's going to be earnings related or news related events. You got Stanley Black & Decker. Alphabet finally pulling back just a little bit after having its gap up on earnings. Remember, they are doing a split as well. And what else do we have? Qualcomm. Pulling back off of those highs. You like that. I think you want to pull back on that one. And Twitter looking to make a new low apparently as well. Other than that, weakness elsewhere, not a lot, just kind of spotty out there. Railroads, CSX came back to the 200-day moving average there. Norfolk Southern as well. Industrials with the Illinois Tool Works, kind of maybe starting a sell-off there. That's all earnings related. In the material space, Air Products, horrible day for them, and that's in response to earnings, kind of continuing to become extended there. It's a tough one to trade. But that one sticks out, and that's pretty much it. I noticed Wells Fargo had a good day today, almost hitting new highs. Banks in general were all of the action today, or almost all of it. You would say it's a Finergy type day, financials and energy. That's where all the excitement was. So good news there if you're participating. On over to the NASDAQ. Kind of indecision here as well, but leaning weak, right? There seems to be this feeling of give me any bad news and they sell the tech stocks. Very volatile over there right now. So if you're playing with the high-flying tech stocks, that's maybe the lesson for the days. Just expect that volatility. Some good days, some bad days, but wild movement there. One good thing is the Russell. The Russell 2000 is not in its indecision moment there. It is actually trying to recover. Notice the Russell was higher today. That afternoon sell-off that we saw in the S&P was not the case in the Russell. So here's the S&P for the day. About 3 o'clock or so, the stock market started selling off during into the close there. You got a little bit in the Russell, but it finished positive for the day. So you kind of like that. Maybe a hint of relative strength there. I don't know. We'll see what plays out there. In the NASDAQ, though, you got bond yields popping on a jobs number, short-dated bond yields, I should say. So it's weird that the NASDAQ was trying to move higher on Friday and early in the day today. Usually not correlated like that. Friday was all Amazon with their earnings and everything, raising their Amazon Prime prices and maybe buying Peloton, so you got a lot of that stuff going on. In the Dow, not much going on there, still indecision area. That is the theme of today, is there are a lot of indecision indices at the moment. Now, one thing I want to point out that I saw some fellow advisors saying that this was not accurate, right? So we know the Fed is going to raise rates, right? And I saw some advisors saying that now is not the time to invest in bonds. You may want to move away from bonds now. And I was like, okay, I'm buying it. I can hear you here. And they said because rates are going to go up, which means your bond prices are going to go down. You know that. I talk about that all the time. But they are way too late. You see, we know the Fed is going to raise rates. Bond yields have already gone up. So if you get out now, you're getting out of something that's, well, to the downside. It's extended to the downside. You're selling at just about the lowest extended price you can sell. Take a look. So here is 2 things I'm going to share with you. The purple line, I tried to have 2 different colors so it stood out. The purple line is the effective funds rate. We know it's essentially nothing right now, right? 0 is where the Fed has their current rates. The orange line is the 2-year Treasury rate, right? So remember, as yields go up, prices go down. So if you're in any bond funds or anything like that, you've likely noticed that they've sold off quite a bit. Take a look. I saw this advisor say, don't invest in bonds because the Fed's going to raise rates, which means prices will fall and yields will go higher. Okay, that's great. They're already too late. See how it's already happened? Because yields move on the perception of what the Fed is going to do. So in reality, the markets respond to that anticipation instead of the reality of it, right? Now, we invest, everybody of you should be investing based on what people are thinking, not what they're doing. If you're investing based on what people are doing, you're already too late, right? It's got to be that perception. That's why I talk about that technical analysis all the time. I don't believe that the 200-day moving average, a random red line on a chart, makes any difference at all. It's the perception that people believe that it will act as some kind of support or resistance. And so when a stock price falls towards it, it's not my belief that it will bounce. It's the belief of everyone that I'm anticipating they will respond to. That's how you want to think. So the problem here is if we look at the 2-year yield, where are they? All the way back up here where the Fed stopped their first round of raising rates before. The 2-year yield is all the way back there. Notice where it's at right now. It is exactly at the spot that the Fed is going to raise rates to, right? The implied Fed funds rate is 1.4. What do we have here? 1.3. Let's give it 1.4 right there, right? So yields have already priced in those rate hikes, meaning you're too late. So an advisor to tell you to now get out of your bond funds, we've already priced it in. It's already there. So what does that tell you there? It also would get us there if the Fed raises 5 times. That's a 5 times adjustment to the Fed rate hike there, right? So it means that your current 2-year yield is 1 year ahead of schedule. It's already pricing in the full year of the Fed raising their rate hikes. It's done it. It's over, right? It also means that these rates are likely artificially high because, okay, so the Fed can raise 5 times, right? Will they? Right? That could change. They could raise 7 times. They could raise 2 times. They could just, I don't know, anything could happen. So rates are already there as if this has happened already. What does that tell you? They're artificially high at the moment. So quit financing stuff. In your personal life, quit going out and getting loans, right? You are paying as if it's a year later and rates are already high. They're not, but you're paying as if they are. So that's kind of the lesson for the day. When somebody tells you now's the time to get out of bonds, I don't know that they don't continue higher, of course, but no. It's too late. You're already getting out of something that the price has anticipated a year in the future. And that's how bonds work. Bonds move based on the anticipated move, not based on what's actually happening. So be very careful there. All right, moving on. I didn't mean to take a lot of time there. 19 new highs, 5 new lows. Of the new highs today, 13 of 19 of them were financial or energies. One of the new lows happened to be Facebook making, there you go, breaking down to new lows. I still have the $200 puts there. Just means it's going to be a while before we actually make a profit on that one. But in our office trades, you can check that out. Tyson comes out with earnings, and there we go. That one made new highs. Tyson's earnings better than expected. Guidance was actually better than expected. With them, by the way, they said the price of meat was up 32%. Inflation, right? But they have these jobs that they can't fill in the meat, chicken, pork production areas. And so they're actually going to be spending $300 million a year to automate those jobs. Not because they're bad people and they're hiring robots, right? But because nobody wants to go in there and do the work. That's what's going to happen. Everybody says, oh, they're creating these robots going to take away from jobs. There's nobody willing to do it anyways. So they've got to do what they've got to do. And personally, I'd rather have my meat produced automatically if that's an option. Those of you who remember back in the day when you used to have a Nintendo and they put it together by hand. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Nowadays, you buy like a game console, a TV or something. It just kind of works. And there's no problem there. I like that better, especially when we're talking about food. Other than that, you've got energy. Valero breaking a new highs. Nice and strong there for Valero. I will go to Raytheon. Same thing, a breakout above highs, looking nice and strong. Aflac, same, but maybe getting a little extended here. If it had a good blow off top kind of a day, you'd probably want to just say it's a watch list for a pullback or something there. Stocks in the news. I'll take your questions and get out of the way. First up, you got Apple. They're going to have a new, apparently, I don't keep up with Apple's phones much from the tech side of things, but they're looking to put out a new low-cost iPhone there and iPads on March 8th, I believe, 1 month from now. So that might be interesting there. Maybe I'll take a look and get me an Apple something or other. I got an iPad for Christmas, actually. My daughter got me one, but it's I haven't started using it yet. Oh, actually, I did. I got Procreate on there. That's fun. It's like a fancy Microsoft Paint. Anyways, Bath and Body Works, they're going to speed up their share buyback. I think I mentioned this the other day. They're going to buy $1 billion extra faster than anticipated there, so that's in the news. Peloton apparently is up for grabs, right? You want to buy some Peloton there. They were in the news because, Amazon came out on Friday, but apparently there's many companies looking to buy Peloton, and we'll see. But that explains the 20% spike here today. Sam Adams, do you like the hard seltzer? Is that a thing? What about you, Cody? Are you a hard seltzer guy?
With like High Noon. That would be those drinks.
I think around here it's like White Claw.
White Claw. I like a good White Claw. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, I went to a charity event and they had all the different seltzer companies. That was like buy a cup for $50 or whatever, and you could go around and fill it up. And I said, well, that's great. I'll test out some of these things. I wasn't impressed.
Oh, really? I like them.
Wasn't impressed. I had like a cherry version. I thought, this is it. This is gonna be my drink. I don't get it. And what's the alcohol in a hard seltzer?
I think it's a vodka. I think. I could be wrong. It's just
that might be
a nice
why.
Fruity drink, and I love it.
It should be like a whiskey seltzer, right? That's actually something.
Well, yeah, that's more for you. That's a little more manly.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I just felt like I was drinking water that was somehow trying to trick me. But nonetheless, it's what it is. If you look, Sam Adams says, Barron's actually said that they will see a spike in hard seltzer over the summer, which is going to benefit Sam Adams. If you look at Sam Adams, they could use it, right? These guys have been really beaten down. Let me go over here. They had some serious issues with inventory, rotting inventory. So they're all the way back down to where they started pre-pandemic. And, hopefully, that'd be nice to see a little spike there, but we'll see. That's what Barron says over the weekend anyways. And lastly, we got Spirit Airlines. This is a fascinating story, by the way. Just hang with me for a second. Spirit Airlines is being bought by Frontier. And when I initially heard it this morning, I thought Spirit would have bought Frontier, but it's going the other way. So Frontier buys Spirit $2.2 billion or something like that. And it comes out to like $8 billion with debt and everything. Here's the fascinating part about this, and then ask your questions if you have them. I'll do this while the stream catches up. So the chairman of Spirit, years ago, he tried to convince the board to buy Frontier. And the board said, no, we're not going to do that. So the chairman says, I'm going to quit. All right, I quit. Goes and starts a private equity group that he has, and then himself goes and buys Frontier Airlines for $32 million. Million dollars. That's like a third of the cost of one of the planes. $32 million bucks. So now the former chairman of Spirit goes and starts private equity, gets some money, and goes and buys Frontier. Builds it up to what it is, becomes the chairman of Frontier, of course, owns the company and everything. And so now he goes back to Spirit, and he's like, yo, we're going to buy you guys now. And he's taken over. So they'll own 51.5% of the new company there. He will be the chairman. And so essentially, he quit the one job because they wouldn't do it, went and bought Frontier, and then is going to kick out everybody from Spirit. Fascinating, man. That's a mover and a shaker right there, to go through something like that. I thought that was really, really interesting. And that's what's happening there. So what else do we have? That's it. I will let the stream here catch up. Let me see what I can do to answer some of your questions. Right? It's a sugary drink, I believe, as well. If I'm going to have a sugary drink, I'm going for it, man. Yeah. But we'll see. And the Super Bowl, right? Can't they get in there? I saw the Super Bowl commercials, by the way. What'd they get? 7.7 million for a 30-second spot?
Yeah. I'm guessing it's going to be a lot of crypto companies and a lot of sports books.
There were 2 crypto companies. Of course, Crypto.com was one of them there. But
do you remember Miller High Life from like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was a good commercial too.
They bought 30 1-second ads.
I don't remember that, but
that was incredible. Look it up. They're very funny commercials. They're very funny.
With the sort of chubby guy that was acting as the delivery.
Yeah,
well, I like that guy.
He would just pop in and he would yell whatever the company was, and that was it.
High Life.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Another High Life.
Oh man,
idea.
I do look forward to the commercials. Maybe this year I'll be more of a commercial watcher. But all right, let's see what we got here. How much longer before we get downgrades on Ford and Facebook? Still none? Nothing yet? Is that true? Not one on Facebook today? I don't know. Everybody was focused on Air Products, Cigna. Looks like Southern Co. got all the downgrades. Upgrades, Snowflake. Yeah, nothing in there for the day. Get in there and downgrade it. Yeah, I don't envy people. I don't envy those of you that are paying that much going to the Super Bowl. You know you can watch it on TV for free. Right? It's right there. And you get to see the commercials. Yeah. Of course, Eminem's going to be there. Yeah. Supply chain issues and investing in semiconductors this year. Well, you can actually look at the recent earnings reports of the semiconductors and see which one of them have commented on supply chain issues. We talked about Texas Instruments. We talked about, I believe, Micron. So I actually mentioned them along the way to say where they see their own issues happening. A lot of them are very bullish on how they expect them to be able to get or produce more, but not till the end of the year. So it's definitely not anything to hurry. Yeah. Facebook, you left that Facebook there. Yeah, what was it? I mean, I like Instagram, I guess. But I'm just weird like that. I like the pictures. I like looking at app design and creative design, properties. I like what people do, like with house design and stuff. So Instagram's kind of good for that. Since such a long time for a 10% correction, do the stats change? I'm not sure the question, but you wouldn't change the stats much because you're analyzing the entire life of the market. You know, so you go from something like a 0.9 times a year to 1 time a year. Wouldn't be a big change. Super Bowl seats are better at home. Plus, you can choose what you want to eat. You want to make a steak or something. You know what I mean? I would go to a Super Bowl. I'm not saying I wouldn't go. I'd be highly disappointed if I bought tickets and this was the Super Bowl I had to go to. What are the odds of Roku flying after earnings next week or being pummeled like PayPal if they miss? Very good, actually, because this is the earnings season where, boy, if you don't beat, give them something to chew on. You got to give the Bulls something to chew on. You are in big trouble there. But let me see what I got for you if I can pull it up here, because Roku is coming up. And we'll see how they do. It's a volatile stock now, so it is extremely volatile actually on earnings. They beat 94% of the time, 94% of the time on earnings, revenue as well. The average gap is about 1.7%, right? Let's see. So only 47% of the time is the stock positive on earnings. I don't like that. Yeah, let's just call it 50-50 shot of a small gap higher. So not one that I would play in terms of taking a shot for earnings if you were going to trade just for the earnings thing. Yep. Straight Jacket says, I really don't understand the Roku fetish. I don't see that company lasting in the competition. I think they'll get bought out. I think you're right. You want to buy Twilio? Ta-da! Well, I can't argue with the discount there, right? I like a good discount. So Twilio, no stranger to the pullback after the economy restart, I guess, if you want to say it like that. I don't know that I'd be all in on this one at this point, but you could certainly use like this high right here as your starting point. So, all right, well, if it's going to make a new low and break above this high, I'll take a shot. Other than that, that's about what I got for you. Info on DWAC, is that back in the news? I would have missed it today. Creeping higher, right around 83 bucks. You know, it feels like the GameStop kind of thing. It feels like the AMC thing. I mean, it's not something I'll look at because it's too new, but you got nothing to go on, right? Got a lot of option activity there. People taking big shots. Yeah. Yeah. What do we got? Their app is a little bit behind. It's like a biotech stock, right? There's nothing there until there is. Until then, there's just speculation. That's a tough one. It's fun to watch, but that's a tough one. Super Bowl talk. I like the Bengals quarterback myself, but we will keep it to the market here for today. Tomorrow, doing the office trades again. We're just trying to make the production a little bit better as we go. I wanted to get started, so it's a little rough looking today, but you get the gist of it. We'll be able to spend some more time on that tomorrow. It'll start at noon. Be on the research site. It'll be live, and remember, there will not be any notification unless you want one. You don't have to watch it live if you don't want to, but there'll be no notification. It is in there, though, from today, and we'll continue on with it tomorrow. I wish you guys a good rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow as well. Adios.